Yeah, what's up? This is Jeff Fieldhouse, and you're watching the Poor Man's Podcast. What, you want the yuppie cast? Go fuck yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here at 565 Live in Bellevue. I think I forgot to say that in the first half of the show, which is probably not going to be a good thing. But we're still here at 565 Live in Bellevue, and I'm still here with Jeff Fieldhouse. And joining us tonight, we have Neon Brainiacs, we have Lance, we have Ben, and we have Gregg. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. I was just telling them how since I found out you were going to be on, and actually Terry Jones told me about you guys, and then I started listening to a podcast because I try to listen to some local ones, and I was like, well, I'm not super big into horror movies. Like, I like movies, but and then I saw some of the movies you guys did, and I was like, oh, I know those, and then I listened to it, and I was like, oh, this is just entertaining. Yeah. It doesn't even matter if you know it. It's just listening to people who are entertaining talk, and I highly recommend it to anybody listening. But how did you guys meet, and how did you start the podcast?
Take it away, Gregg.
Get that, I usually get deferred to for all the storytelling.
Yeah. But, there's always one person who is like, let's put all the boring stuff on them, and then when it's time to swear and have fun.
It's 2017. Picture it. Yeah. So Ben and I actually have known each other for probably, 7 or 8 years. Yeah. We played in bands together and everything like that.
Okay.
And it was just the two of us when we started the show in 2017. But once we started doing that, we were kind of like going and like hanging out at like movie related stuff. These guys are super creative with like, making films and stuff. I'm just a guy.
He's a creative guy too. I mean, come on, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a guy with a podcast. So I think we ran into Lance somewhere, like at like a movie thing, and I think it was like, oh, how do you, like, Lance and I used to work together, like, probably, 15 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 2009, I think.
2008, 2009.
Oh,
so it was like, how do you know him? And I was like, how do you know him? Like, and we actually brought Lance on as, like, a temporary sub for me probably about, like, 7 or 8 months ago. And then, like, once I came back to the show, we were like, let's just do this as a three-piece. Like, we've all known each other for a long time. Yeah. We just kind of, like, hang out and just talk about dumb stuff, and here we are today.
Well, it's definitely enjoyable for a listener. Like I was just saying, I listened to the Scream one because that's one. I was born in '90, so that's kind of more my. I was probably way too young to watch it when it came out, but I probably saw it in like '98 when it's been out on VHS for a while, and it wasn't like the new release that I wasn't allowed to get at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to wait until it moved down the shelf or whatever.
Yep.
And there were 3 copies. But yeah, that was very good. I've been talking to Gregg because I saw you did a Puppet Master one. My brother's obsessed with Puppet Master. So like stuff like that. And it's just funny seeing another human being who even knows it because my brother's like obsessed.
Really?
He's the real deal. He was sending me some pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Charles Band has a lot of your brother's money.
Oh, my God. My brother's a producer on one of the movies because he like sent money for something.
Really?
And he was like, just so like on Ginger Dead Man 3 or something. I don't know.
Wow.
That's all it takes, baby.
Oh, 3, that's a good one.
Passion of the Crust, I believe that one.
That's right when they were coming into their own. But no, it's just funny like hearing any of that. But the one thing that caught me immediately with your show that I have to compliment you is you have a great opening song, like the music in it, because it immediately gave me what I was listening to. I was like, this sounds super, like it starts like horror movie and then gets into like the synthesized, and it's like, this is 80s. This sounds like an 80s horror thing. Like if I was going to do it, and like if I didn't know what it was. So at that, hats off to that. I don't know if anybody else notices stuff like that, but I did.
That was composed by Gregg.
You composed it?
I did. So
oh, wow.
Mister, I'm not creative. Full circle, baby. I love it.
Podcast, okay?
Oh, yeah, Gregg. Hell
Talented
yeah.
musician and songwriter. Yeah, so yeah. No.
Greg gave me all the questions to ask, by the way. That's why.
We're just laying him up.
Compliment number 2. You're very handsome.
He's also a huge egoist. That's all.
Yeah, but no, Gregg did do the intro and outro to the theme to the show. Yeah, so
that's very cool. I had, obviously, I guess you wouldn't know him because I watched the Boonies today. with my girlfriend.
Oh no!
And it was really shot well. Like, and I don't mean this to sound like rude or anything, but like when I see like even good like scary movies sometimes don't like look good, and it was like entertaining. It was like pleasing to watch.
Yeah,
you guys did a great job with all that. But I had Andreas O'Rourke on before. That was the point.
Yeah,
I was
listened to
going
his episode. I was like, Andreas is on here, so I checked it out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had one of the best. This is him right here, I think.
Got him.
That's
Yeah, it's Andreas.
Oh yeah, he oh yeah, I think Jeff obviously knows Andreas too. Yeah, so everybody, Andreas was great when he was on.
So did you like the bad guys in the Boonies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what I noticed was like the eyes were always like popping the whole time behind the mask. So it was like even though you couldn't see the face, it was still intensity.
Yeah.
Those guys were nuts. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they're so scary. Huh?
I just thought like the
Super handsome too.
Cute, really cute.
The one was.
Boyish charm was just
Yeah, I mean, it's a very
That Cloyd.
It's a very specific kind of horror movie made for a specific sort of audience. I'm a big 70s guy.
Yeah.
Even though I'm on the 80s horror show, I'm like
Yeah.
a real big 70s horror guy, and it's like my love letter to 70s schlock horror. Like,
I watched it with my girlfriend because she hurt her knee and can't move, which she says, but we'll see. You know, it's debatable. Yeah. You have other ligaments in your knee, you know?
yeah.
You have an MCL and an ACL. You know, get over it, man. But she was bedridden, and I'm kidding. She's like in excruciating pain and probably watching this. But she watched it too, and she was a big fan. She loves like horror movies and stuff. But it made me think while you were doing that, and just through watching horror movies and stuff. What do you think makes like the murderer or whatever? What are traits of that person that's like scary to you? What do you think is scary in a murderer or something in a movie?
Is that in a murder specifically?
Or whatever, like, do they have, like, is the eyes, is that something that you focus on? Or, like, whatever is it, like, that you've seen in movies that you think, oh, that's, like, a scary trait that sticks out to you?
I think it's a sense of at all tangibility. Like, they could be real at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, even if the character itself is outlandish,
if
somehow they're portrayed like they could, like, if the rest of the movie feels like a real world or something, like, if there's an element that feels like this person could exist, like, if they're too big, sort of, you're like, oh, this is just a cartoon, this is just fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. That's always what kind of scares me the most, where it's like, oh, that could happen.
Yeah.
And even if it's not like the most gruesome thing, just like an abduction of somebody, like, that's like, that could happen. That's very realistic. But chopping up a ton of bodies, like, that would be horrifying to hear, but it doesn't happen every day. Like, the thing that could happen in your neighborhood, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unpredictability, too, I think, is big. Like, seeing, a character just take a pretty wicked, side turn, if you will, into something that you're not expecting, especially now with horror, because a lot of it can be kind of very tropey and sort of predictable, I guess. So I'm usually drawn to things like that.
I think for me, it's like, Chris, I do agree with you when we were actually talking about this with your previous guest. The one thing that freaks me out the most is like home invasion stuff. Because it's so realistic and so plausible. But I think like for me, what makes a good villain is a certain level of unstoppability. Yeah. So like Michael Myers in Halloween 2, like the original sequel, Victor Crowley from the Hatchet series, like you just throw everything you can at the guy and it doesn't faze him. So you're just like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Yeah.
One thing I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of movies, but it seems like when they're in the woods, they always like leave, but then like kind of go back and loop back around. I just feel like people should just like go and not even look back.
Yeah. You
Thoughts on that? Sorry, that just came to me, and I was like, let me stare at you and say something.
I always say that movies like they just need to call the police. I'm like, then the movie's over. I know, right? It's like that was easy. My anxiety just wants the movie to be like 20 minutes.
I know.
And I'm like,
luckily,
oh,
they
shit.
always don't have any bars.
Yeah, that's very true.
Luckily.
Never.
But talking with kind of some more of the movie stuff, and I was talking with the music about you, that you were doing earlier. Is there a movie that you feel like extra, like their music really sets it over? Like maybe the movie's good and the writing's good, but is there one that like the movie, like the Halloween music is like iconic that people know.
You nailed it right there.
Okay, yeah.
And anything John Carpenter has been part of and scored is usually phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of his music and his films. So
that's one thing that I feel like people don't super realize until it's not there. Like when you don't hear any kind of just background music or just like the humming in like a tense situation or something. It's weird when it's not there. And like, because I was listening to your show and you guys were talking about like making some noises, and then I watched the movie, and then I was like thinking about different stuff, and it's just so cool seeing how like a movie comes together.
Yeah.
And how do you think of that, like putting the music in and the sound effects, like how it blows my mind. So I think I'm just in awe of it. But like how does like the process work?
Well, to touch on
when
what
you guys
said,
work on
it's super important.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a story about the original Halloween that it was first screened without any music.
Oh, really?
People were like, there was some test screening, and they were like, "This isn't scary."
Yeah.
And then the same people watched it after John Carpenter scored it.
Oh,
and they were like, "Holy shit, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen." Yeah. So it's immensely important to a film. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll make or break it, really.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I mean, the process of doing it. I mean, because with Boonies, they pretty much did all the sound and added scoring, Nathan King's score or whatever. I mean, I feel like when you're making a movie, that part of it, like when you do the sound editing and the score, that's when I think it's like done. Like I don't even think like up until that point, for me, it doesn't even. You still feel like you're looking at like a rough draft or like a prototype.
Yeah,
like that is like for me, like that is the step that makes it like the editing and then the sound editing are like the steps that make it absolute. Like the stuff I saw in my head, that's when it's there. You know what I mean?
It kind of takes us from like watching a play to like being a film.
Yeah,
with that, and really takes you into it, because it's like I think if you're watching it without the sound, it just. I don't know. It's just people talking and you're not in it. But when you feel that, it like tells you how you're supposed to feel. Like the music kind of guides you in the way you're supposed to feel.
Yeah, it is the thing that really takes the audience on the ride. You know, like you're letting them know what they're supposed to be experiencing at that moment. You know.
Yeah. Is there a movie from just watching them that you're like maybe a fan of? You realize probably isn't a great movie, but you love.
I mean, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, how much time you got? There are a couple that we've done on the show that were like first time watches, and I'm sure some of these would overlap for you. But stuff like Terror Vision was something that I hadn't really heard of until we did it for the show. It was right up my alley because it's very funny, very schlocky, like late 80s kind of thing. Yeah. The same with like The Video Dead, which is like some kind of like obscure, like kind of horror comedy from the late 80s that has no cultural touchstones except the guy from the Greasy Stranglers in it. That's a whole other story. But, I mean, a lot of like, at this point we've been doing the show for almost 5 years. So like the amount of movies that I've personally seen that I was like, where's this been all my life?
Yeah.
Very lengthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to name, movies that probably aren't very good.
Is there one you could recommend that maybe somebody wouldn't have heard of that you think, okay, not a lot of people know this, but this is a good movie?
Yeah.
It doesn't get its due, maybe.
One that totally surprised me is one we did a couple years ago on the show. It's called Pin. And it's about this kid who basically like gets obsessed with this anatomy dummy kind of thing, that his dad's a doctor and he has this like anatomy dummy in his office, and they treat it like a friend and
like talks to him and stuff.
And it's really strange. Like I sat down to watch it for the show and I was like, all right, here's this piece of shit, or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, holy fuck, this was actually like really good.
Yeah.
And I actually bought it's based on a novel, and I actually bought the novel of it just to check it out. And the novel's even more fucked up, which is wild. And we're allowed to swear on here, right?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
The novel's even more messed up.
Yeah.
So,
good thing you fixed it.
You're good. This is the PG-13 version.
I was just gonna edit it out and then me say messed up over it, like real choppy. Messed up.
I like that kind of stuff. But yeah, Pin was one that it's the first one I could think of that like really caught me off guard, and I really liked it. Yeah. Lance, probably the Howling movies for you, right?
Oh my god, yeah, you guys watch those really shitty Howling movies. Actually, a werewolf movie I do think of. We talked about it recently. That Blood Moon. It's a '90s movie about a werewolf.
Yeah,
Bad Moon. Bad Moon. It's a werewolf movie that I recently watched. That the German Shepherd is like the main character.
Okay.
And there's like a scene where a German Shepherd fights a werewolf, and I think it's incredible. Any dog fans gotta watch it.
Yeah.
And what year did it come out? I'm trying to picture how good this fight is. Probably
Mariel
gonna be.
Hemingway is like the main character in it.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think honestly, like kind of to piggyback off of that, it's very good, very underrated. Might be my favorite werewolf design in a movie.
It's mine.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's sick.
that and like Dog Soldiers, I think would be like my top two.
It's pretty awesome. I think an interesting thing about the show is Gregg is definitely an encyclopedia of this stuff. You two, I think, you guys know so much, but I watch a lot of movies. Like I have these days. I don't, but I sort of exist in this. I don't know if I'm as much of a like diehard '80s guys as they. So sometimes I think I offer this perspective of and I think I'd add something.
It's kind of like more the everyman perspective.
Like, I do like to come in and I appreciate all their knowledge because I asked them questions, and like we went to the drive-in, I'm asking Gregg what every trailer is, and so whenever I get asked these questions, sometimes what it makes me do is I like blank out, and I'm like, what's a movie? You know, like name a movie that's your favorite, whatever. And if I was just sitting here, I could think of it, but then you put me in the spotlight, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm the exact same way. That's why I was like surprised when you were like, "Oh yeah, from a year ago we talked." I was like, "A year? I thought it was yesterday." I was like, "What the heck?" I'm the same way. If you ask me what I listened to on the way here, I'm like, "Well, fuck."
How did I get here? I don't know.
You guys are making me because my uncle like loves horror and like all of these like crazy movies, and he'll be reading random books, and as soon as you said that, I want to get him that pen novel and start checking out more of this stuff. And just hearing you guys talk about it, it is entertaining when people actually love this stuff and like can explain it in a cool way to where it's not like documentary style. Like I'm digging your guys' stuff in person, so I'm definitely gonna be checking out the pod.
If you get your uncle that pin novel, he's probably not going to look at you the same. So I'm just letting you know that.
Just that.
Him and I watched The Shining when he babysat me when I was 4.
That's a great movie.
So I don't know if he'll be like if a weird tear will come down his eye. Like if I give it back to him.
I did him right.
Yeah. But thanks for the warning in case I ruin a relationship.
It's messed up.
Thanksgiving's weird now.
Yeah.
You know, I should read it.
Read it before you gift it.
People are fucking that anatomy doll. So we'll just put it out.
Slight spoiler.
Yeah.
What about this book made me think of you?
That's the best part.
Read that on the back.
Oh jeez, edit, cut that.
So we were just doing from the show, from our podcast. We've been doing something for the last like month. So for the first year, I had people come on. I just randomly asked them kind of like what their least favorite movie character was, who they hated, and I had people.
Glad that motherfucker Grandpa Joe.
Okay, good. I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah,
I did see the Grandpa Joe thing.
Yeah. Well, I had 32 people, and it was just people that came on and they just said stuff, and then I put them up, and then I just let people vote.
Yeah.
And Grandpa Joe did. He ended up mopping the floor with a lot of people, and then beat Jenny from Forrest Gump in the finals. The final four, I think, was Rose from the Titanic. It was Grandpa Joe, and then it was Skylar White and Jenny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. Everybody came on, but I was wondering, is there somebody from like a horror film or any movie really that not like they're the bad guy, but they just like annoy you, or they're just like out of place. They shouldn't have been in there. They bothered me. They pulled like Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. It like bothers me because he's just like not like the whole movie's so good, and then it's just like this guy that's just like, why are you okay? Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The mom in Nightmare on Elm Street is like the worst actress. I know she's watching right now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
she's a big fan.
She's terrible. Yeah, I think she like really. It's like almost a perfect movie if she wasn't in it. Yeah. I think she's awful in it. Yeah.
I'd probably give it to Harry Cooper from the original Night of the Living Dead.
Okay,
that guy's such an asshole.
It's my turn.
Lance.
Yeah, who you got, Lance?
Remember that anecdote I just told?
Most people can think of people they hate. That like if you're like, oh, my favorite thing, I don't know what my favorite song is, but I do know I hate that fuck.
If I'd been pressured for anybody, I would have said Skylar White, but you already said it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no, that's.
But the thing is, that's part of her charm. Like I think that like that teeth gnashing like feeling you have for her is like kind of you love her at the same time for it. But that's what I would have said. But you beat me to it.
I understand kind of her perspective, like coming home and seeing like the whole house drug lord.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's the genius of the show.
Yeah,
you know? Like every character's so gray. You're like you get mad at her, and then you're like, well, she does have every right to be like that.
It's crazy because like as much as you shouldn't like Bryan Cranston in it. He is. He's the anti-hero or whatever.
Yeah, it's
like,
the opposite.
Yeah. Like Tony Soprano. Like I should hate this guy. He murders people for money and does all this stuff, but yet I sympathize with him. And I think that the woman telling him to stop cooking meth with his babies in the house and stuff like, and then like, mind your business, Skylar.
Yeah, tell him how to run his life.
Yeah. You're not worried about paying rent.
You know who's actually somebody else that I just thought of that kind of ties into an episode we've done recently is Don Stark, who played Bob Pinciotti on That 70s Show. He's in a movie called Evil Speak that we just did.
That's right, yeah.
Where Clint Howard's the main character.
Okay.
Like one of the few movies that Clint Howard has top billing.
What? Sorry to interrupt, but you said Clint Howard. Was he in an Ice Cream Man movie?
Yes.
That's one of the other ones.
Oh, okay.
He is the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So,
That's another one. That was like a repressed memory that you just said that it came out.
Yeah.
sentimental tag with Ice Cream Man, by the way.
Yeah.
But in Evil Speak, it takes place at like a military high school, I think. And he's kind of like this guy that everybody picks on, says like, hey, you're a piece of shit, your parents are dead, whatever. And Don Stark's character picks on Clint Howard so much that at one point he finds that Clint Howard has a small dog in the basement of the school, along with all of his like satanic computer stuff. This is from 1981, by the way.
Yeah.
And
They thought computers were the
scary.
devil.
And murders the dog.
Oh, wow.
So he is a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, like a really cute puppy too.
Yeah,
Damn.
absolutely.
You can
adorable.
hear all about it in a couple weeks on Neon Brainiacs.
Wait, did it come out already?
No, we didn't.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it didn't come out yet.
Spoiler. Yeah.
Who cares?
Neon Brainiacs.
Neon Brainiacs.
I did that like
callback.
4 or 5 times. And I was like, why is it red squiggly under that?
Who's Brian?
Yeah. I should be able to spell a 5-letter word, brain and Brian. Is there a movie character or something that when you were a child, like I always remember the original It, like Tim Curry scared the shit out of me in the beginning, like when the kid's like playing and he's in like the linens in the laundry, and I'd tell my mom like, you let me know when it's over, and she'd be like, okay, it's over, and then I turn and he's like there with his teeth out, and like pulling Georgie down and stuff. Like I'm still scarred if I see a paper like boat going down somewhere, I'm like, ugh. Or if I hear that like piano song that they play, it still scares me from It. Is there a movie that scarred you?
Child's Play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got this one.
And
Chucky,
yeah,
fucking
there you
Chucky.
go.
Dude, Chucky really got me as a kid. Anything with, weirdly enough, like any puppet with piercing blue eyes, because the Crypt Keeper would freak me out too.
Yeah.
On Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
But Chucky was just like, because it's from the perspective of the child. We talked about it on the show, I think.
Yeah.
Like other horror movies, you're a kid and you're like, oh, they're chasing the adults and all this shit.
Right,
But
right.
in Child's Play, he was chasing the kid and he's like biting him and shit. Like, he used to always really stick out to me when he'd bite the kid.
Bonking him on the head.
You know, lots of bonks.
And the kid's like a city kid too, so he's like in weird like city situations, like
Yeah.
running down.
Just downtown Chicago.
Yeah, it's just like it was freaky.
And no
I
one seems
remember-
to care.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember looking back at that movie now, and I'm just like, I feel bad for him just like walking around the city there.
Yeah.
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 Because he like takes a bus to see like where Charles Lee Ray was or whatever or
Yeah.
something, or maybe I'm
Chucky Mason.
remembering it wrong.
Yeah, it's the train, and he goes
Okay,
to
yeah.
murder his accomplice who
Yeah.
left him
Right.
behind.
with the voodoo
With the
doll?
voodoo doll or
Yeah,
whatever.
and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
breaking his legs, yeah.
But yeah, all of that is awful too.
I had a My Buddy doll when I was a kid, so I got it like tenfold.
Is that like the brown haired doll?
Yes.
Because I had one too, and it scared the shit out of me. And I threw it in the back of my closet, and I didn't like it. And then my brother, who I was telling you about, like Puppet Master, he got a Chucky doll like the same size, and I was like 8, or like 10 at that point, and I was still like, I was old enough to know this doll's not going to come to life.
Still.
But like as soon as the light turns off, I'm like, but maybe this time.
What if he does?
Yeah.
My mom used to have this. I don't know if you guys remember these. These were like popular, I think, in like the early to mid-90s and like mom decor, because I saw other people's house had them. I had this thing. It was like a kid that would stand in the corner, and it looked like it was like.
I hate those.
The Blair Witch thing.
It looks like it's in timeout or something. It looks like it did something bad. It was at the top of my steps, and when I would get in trouble. Like one time, my sister would make me like go into the corner with it, and I would be like fucking freaked out. It's right next to me, dude.
Yeah, like they're putting it on top of the stairs, they're putting it on hallways, like they're putting it anywhere. Like you gotta.
If I remember right, they don't even have like faces, did they?
Yeah, probably not.
Which made it way more terrifying.
It was sewed hands. It was just sewed hands on the.
I mean, my mom had like the goose out front that had like different outfits.
Still kind of freaky.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a Pittsburgh thing or not, but just had
With
like
the
different
raincoat
outfits.
and the dress,
like, raincoat, her jersey,
Yeah.
like all that. She had the goose, but no weird ass kid that with his eyes covered.
Dude, that shit's like parental psyops.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that.
Until you said it, I blocked. Like I think I just threw it back there. I was like, never again. And I was like, now. Like,
Oh God! Yeah, right.
no, I'm calling my dad in the way. I'm like, what was that about?
Like, it's still there.
Hand down, like.
Also, I need to get a book for your brother.
Yeah, right.
It's real messed up.
Yeah.
Weird
Don't ask any
90s
questions.
Decor shit that our moms had. Like, what
is
is
weird.
going on? You know?
Well, my mom had porcelain dolls and shit too, and like the whole
mine did
dolls
too.
movie
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah.
With also in the beginning of that, they threw the teddy bear out, and then it came into like a giant bear. Do you know what I'm assuming? you know
Oh,
what
I
movie.
love that
I'm just
movie.
assuming you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. If I'm
Yeah.
talking about
Yes, I
Sierra
love that
Nevada.
movie Dolls.
I think
yeah.
Oliver Platt or something was it. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it's somebody who
It's the
looked
guy
like
that
him.
plays Conrad, the construction guy in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
does
shit.
he look like Oliver Platt? Maybe or not.
I think he
Okay.
kind of does. Yeah.
Just say yes.
This is what I mean by encyclopedia.
But yeah, they like throw it out, and then like this giant bear. I can't remember if it's like a dream in the beginning or if it actually tears them apart. But like that whole thing and just dolls coming to life. That was definitely another one that like struck me young.
Yeah, that one freaked me out too. I love doing it on the shows. It's a great movie. Yeah, I don't know. Things that freaked me out. I was getting Freddy Krueger. I saw that pretty young. So that
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
What was the Freddy Krueger movie where I thought I was like badass enough to watch it, and then we rented the one where they're on set making the movie and the hand
New
comes alive?
Nightmare.
The New Nightmare.
Breaking the fourth wall. I've never seen it before, and I was in fourth grade, and I was just like, "No, mom, look, it's actually happening." And it fucked me up. I was like, "No!" Like that ruined me. Like that movie. I still haven't rewatched it.
I think I talked about this on our Scream episode, but the meta thing like kind of blew up with Scream, but Wes Craven did it with New Nightmare 2 or 3 years before Scream came out, and there were even movies before that. Like there was a movie called like Scary Movie, not the comedy one, that's from like 1991 that was still like the guy knows how to survive this situation because he watches horror movies.
I literally just listened to that like 20 minutes ago, like before you got here. You said like the nerd pretty much like figures it out from that. Is there a lot more like correlations between that and Scream? Did he get ideas from that, do you think? Or is it just like, I mean, if you're saying like teenagers and get murdered and stuff, that's like 80% of horror movies or whatever. So you can't really say that. But it seemed like you were saying kind of unique to that they used prior horror movies to kind of guide themselves.
Scream was probably the most like popular example.
Yeah,
of that. And then now you see it. I mean, it's like we talked about on the show. You take it for granted now. It's in so many movies. Where people know that movies exist in the movie universe. You know. So yeah, but New Nightmare, like you were saying, it's definitely one of the first ones to really do that, in my opinion.
And I don't think it gets the credit it deserves either. Like even just in like Elm Street, like conversation. Because everyone's like, oh, the original, Dream Warriors, which like, yeah, those are like my favorite ones. But like that one, I think because it came so much later after the original one, like I think people kind of write it off a little bit.
Yeah, it was still really good. And Scream 2, I watched the Jada Pinkett intro where she's at the movie.
Oh yeah.
I love like I totally forgot about that and it hit me. I did smoke a bowl right before, so I think I was more hyped up. But I was just like, yes. Like it was just like chef's kiss. I just loved it, dude.
Which they actually totally ripped off from a movie from 1980 called He Knows You're Alone.
Yeah.
The literal like the opening of that movie is almost the same thing as Scream 2.
Was it a rip-off or an homage?
It's an homage.
A little bit of both.
Ben.
Homage.
Also the movie debut of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
He
you
Knows
need
You're Alone.
any
That's
additional
Tom Hanks' first movie.
Oh, really?
He's in it for like 5 minutes.
That's all he needs, baby.
Still charming as shit, though.
That's true.
Like the Jennifer Aniston of was that her first like big movie, Leprechaun?
I think so, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's just funny seeing like certain people and then like seeing their credits. I'm like, what? And like I remember seeing Leprechaun when I was younger too. And then like going back and like it was like 10 years after I saw it that I realized, oh, that was Jennifer Aniston was in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like kind of like either got like a fresh start in horror, like George Clooney, Kevin Costner. Who am I missing?
All kinds of people, dude.
George Clooney. There's
George Clooney, Kevin Costner, Tom Hanks.
Don't forget
mention that
Costner. Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of people got their start in horror, especially in the 80s.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see that and just cool to see, you know, all the development and people going through different things. And it's cool just seeing people in, you know, you might know them for this and you see them in a completely different role.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom Hanks does a lot of that. Too. Like you go back and like Tom Hanks was in that. No, that piece of garbage or whatever.
I miss
the
funny
Burbs.
Tom Hanks, though. I miss funny Tom Hanks in the 80s.
Funny, charismatic Tom Hanks.
Yeah, like he does. It's a lot of drama now, which is great.
Yeah,
you know, like he's good, but
he's really good at comedy.
Yeah, like
you'd want to see that more than like landing on the river or whatever. He was Sully, right?
Sully,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope that wasn't somebody else.
I miss
it
like
wasn't Costner.
Bachelor Party and Burbs. And
Yeah.
that stuff,
Joe versus
like,
Volcano.
Yeah, you know, big. You know,
I just watched Splash for the first time, like probably like a month ago.
I've never seen Splash.
It's fantastic.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the Burbs. That was a VHS my mom had for sure. I watched that one a lot. It's funny, like just the movies you've seen a million times just because they were there, not because you liked them.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen every episode of like the Golden Girls. Not that there's anything against the Golden Girls,
Nothing wrong with that.
but like I've seen every single one 800 times. So like, it's one of those things. Like I would have never chosen to put it on, but like when you see it, like then you recognize. Although I'm not hating on the Golden Girls at all. Big fan actually.
Still funny.
Yeah. If you were a Golden Girl,
Blanche.
If you want
Dorothy.
to answer, I will give you one.
no hesitation on that one. I asked favorite movie, no idea. Favorite Golden Girl, Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Been thinking about it for years.
Greg's probably Sophia.
That was going to be my answer.
This is going to be the entire promo for the show.
Finally.
Yeah. Watch Jeff Fieldhouse. Join me as we talk to the Neon Brainiacs about Golden Girls.
Could I pick your guys'
Golden
brain about
Palace.
one new horror movie that I
Please,
saw?
sure.
That was refreshingly fun,
Yeah.
and it was that X.
I haven't watched X yet.
I loved it.
Yeah, he
Wasn't it
saw
refreshingly like?
I do want to see it. Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that I'm just not like some fucking novice that just is like into the mainstream. I don't know the nitty gritty, but
Is it the letter X or EX? I've never heard of
Letter
it.
X.
Just letter X.
Directed by Ty West, who did House of the Devil, which is another kind of like period piece set in the 70s,
Yeah,
right?
it's like late
70s.
Looks very similar because it kind of looks like it's from that era. It's
Yeah.
not like, it doesn't look like a fucking Avengers movie.
Yeah,
This is the 70s. But yeah, like he does that style very, very well. And yeah, I actually went to see X by myself at the theater. It's the first time I've ever gone to the movies by myself. And it was an experience.
oh hell yeah, dude. Well, yeah, I'm happy to hear it was good because I left and I was like, dude, I was scared. I had a lot of fucking fun, in the casting too. That main character, I was like, he's like Kurt Russell's brother or something.
Yeah.
He's so likable, dude. It's fuck. All right, what? I'm not gonna keep talking about some of you guys I haven't seen.
I know. I've been
seen
meaning
it.
to go see that. I missed it
Gotta
in
do it.
theaters. But I'm a huge fan of that director.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think he's great. Ty West. I highly recommend some of his other movies he did. Yeah, like House of the Devil. If you did like that, you'd probably like House of the Devil. A little bit of a slow burn, but
Pays
good.
off.
Yeah, it pays off at the end. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So have you guys been putting any thought into creating another, movie or anything? Have you thought about acting or directing or writing or anything like that?
Yeah, there's probably like 5 movies coming out this year that I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
I just just acting in a movie last night, so yeah, I'm constantly busy doing that kind of stuff.
But
How do you-
stuff?
On my own stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I wrapped a movie late last year, which is currently in the editing phases. So looking forward to that, being done. Hopefully it'll be out next year.
What part do you like to do the most? Do you like the acting or do you like the Like I never thought I would like editing video in my life.
Yeah.
But like just doing some stuff like this.
Editing's awesome.
It's so much. I've never had time disappear. Like I'll just do something. There goes 4 hours. What the fuck?
And you'll be like, sit there and be like, oh, well, I can do this one more thing, and then you look and it's like another 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Shit.
I feel like when I was like younger and I was like playing basketball, I was like, oh, just make 1 3, and then it's like 2 hours later. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Although I'm a lot better at this than I am at basketball. Not that I'm good. I went to pick my kids up from the bus stop today, and I got there a little early, and there's a basketball hoop right there.
Yeah.
I still suck. It's incredible. And I'm like, maybe if I change everything, and I'm like, I changed my shoulders, like I'm just suddenly start playing. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna kill time for 10 minutes every day, why not be a little bit better at it? Nah, I don't know what it is. It's not for me.
It's hard. Brooklyn Nets need a new power forward.
I'm not built for it. 5'6" is not a.
No, we're better under the rim and dishing it to other people.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I'm a defensive player. Yeah, I'm like John Stockton. I spread the ball around. I'll get some steals. You know.
I'm like gold dust. I have sand. Just floating in your fucking eyes. I kicked off a lot of courts.
That's not where I was expecting that to go.
Neither was I, honestly. I just need an exit.
Whatever the hell that's great for just the audio. Gold dust. Gold dust.
Audio listeners, he just Joey Chestnutted a hot dog. You should have seen it, but you can hear it.
That's why you gotta subscribe and go through the video to definitely see that. But Lance, do you have anything you were thinking about for as far as do you do writing, or I saw that you direct and stuff?
Yeah, I write direct. And then, I mean, for Boonies, I wrote directed.
Okay, I didn't know that you wrote for that too. I saw that you directed.
I wrote it, directed it, produced it, edited it, and did sound. So we just did a little bit of everything on that one.
Well, it looks very good.
I didn't shoot it. That's my That's my creative partner, Jeff Smead.
Okay, well, okay. Yeah, Greg told me to tell you that too. Yeah.
You get one.
I've been doing some shorts.
But no, the whole thing was good. But I'm just saying, just like looking at it, I think I like just seeing landscapes and stuff now, and just seeing, and I think that kind of made it feel like you were alone more, just seeing how vast like the forest was.
Transitions
Yeah. But yeah, all of it was cool. It was definitely it was scary, and the intensity and the eyes, like I was saying. I definitely highly recommend anybody to go out and check that out.
100%.
Yeah.
Where was that filmed? That's what I wanted to ask you.
A lot of it was in Somerset County. Some of it, I'm from near Johnstown.
Okay.
So some of it was out near that way, and then we did. Interesting enough, a lot of the indoor stuff was done in like set deck basements and stuff in like Pittsburgh, like Milvalle.
Really?
Yeah. I live in Milvalle.
That's funny though. That's awesome. We were just talking about Milvalle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that's my jam.
Lance has some Milvalle stories for sure.
Yep.
It's a semi-regular segment on the show, Real Milvalle Shit with Lance Barkin.
Yeah, I feel like I heard that at one of the recent ones. If it wasn't the Scream one, it was the Firestarter one. I listened to that.
It might be the Firestarter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In pretty much every episode, we yell, "Do you pay my rent?" And that comes from a Millville story.
Yes, it does.
Me fighting over a parking space.
Yeah. Sounds about right. That sounds.
It's mine. It's my off-street space. It is mine.
Yeah. I got in a big tiff. Well, I'll ask you this because it has nothing to do with anything, and I'm interested to hear some fresh perspectives. Yeah. Around here, I got ticketed. Well, I didn't. My girlfriend got ticketed for street sweeping, but it's from 8 a.m. to noon.
I just got one. And
the street sweeper went by at 8:15, and then we parked there. She parked there. We parked there, and then we got a ticket for it. But I feel like if the street sweeper is gone, the spirit of the law is done. Like, you did your thing. So what? We just have to leave it vacant, even though you went by at 8:15 until noon because. Because
it's a scam.
Okay, what the
I feel like there should be forensic information that whoever writes you that ticket can see. If there are no street sweeper tracks, they leave wet tracks around your car, you should be good to go.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's weird how, like, when it's not money for them, they don't really have a lot of motive to help you out.
Look into these cameras and talk to city council, please.
Yeah. You're like Aaron Brockovich over there, dude.
Mayor Game. Please.
As he said, I saw like a Sherlock's home pipe slowly coming out. And if there's no water. Oh my gosh. He's
elementary.
Oh, one more thing.
You really are Brainiacs.
Oh, I see what you did there, Jeff. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But speaking of which, can you tell everybody where they can find you for anybody who's interested, which I'm assuming people will be?
Gregg.
Oh, defer to me again.
Yeah, do the plug.
The show's pretty much on every format, Apple, Spotify, whatever. If it has podcasts, we're probably on it.
I feel like that's exactly how when people ask me, I say Apple, Spotify, the other stuff, find it.
Listen to podcasts.
You find a podcast,
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
All of our socials are at Neon Brainiacs, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. For engagement, which is something the kids tell me that we should do, we do like a reoccurring segment called Maniac Feedback, which is basically like we throw out a question on our social media, usually Instagram, and people just answer it. So that's one reason to follow us, and I swear to God, we won't post pictures of ourselves there. So
Rarely.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for coming on. Jeff, is there anything you'd like to ask?
I like to ask the X movie. No, honestly, I'm just like, I'm ready because I kind of been in a podcast rut and I need something for like my pre-work commute that's like 20 to 30 and then home that's like 20 to 30. I think I found it, boys. So I'm very excited to check it out. I'm going to be giving a follow for sure.
Our dulcet
Yeah,
tones.
check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Can I plug some things?
Yeah, please do. Plug whatever you'd like.
I have a comedy movie mockumentary called Bergeron Brothers, Wedding Videographers.
I was going to ask about that, but I didn't want to like bring it up if you guys didn't want to talk about it. So
That's cool.
You want to talk about
It came out late last year. It's currently streaming for free on Tubi TV with ads. So if you have Tubi TV, it's a free service. You should probably have it anyway because it's free. And there's a lot of great movies on there. But my movie's there, so check it out. Lance is in it. Gregg is also in it. And
You get married in mine, and I get married in yours.
That's right. Spoiler. But yeah, really proud of that movie and just trying to get more people to check it out. So Bergeron Brothers, Wedding Videographers. It's like Dumb and Dumber meets The Office is how I like to sell it to people. So yeah, check it out. Would really appreciate that.
The way I sell Bergeron Brothers is I feel like it's if Christopher Guest made Step Brothers.
okay.
Well, that's pretty good. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. I'll
that
take
sounds
that.
pretty accurate.
That's high praise.
Lance, how would you describe it?
I mean,
Pick two movies right now.
Like, it would be like my best friend's wedding.
Child's Playing Golden Girls.
Dorothy.
I'd watch that.
No, that's actually pretty astute, honestly, because I love Christopher Guest.
Chucky's eating cheesecake in the kitchen. I hope anybody listening got that. Good Golden Girls stuff, Jeff.
Yeah.
Check that one out.
Girls.
Yeah.
Golden Girls content.
Love it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys very much. Like I said,
Thank
the
you.
Boonies, definitely check that out. Check out Neon Brainiacs. Check out all that stuff. You said Bergeron Brothers,
Yep.
videographers.
Bergeron Brothers, Wedding Videographers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. We'll put all your information in my information, and I need to find a better, more efficient way to say that because I butcher it every time. Information, but we'll have all your information.
Yeah,
they should know what it is.
Our stuff and your stuff.
There you go. Just click through, and it'll make
Put my
it
stuff in your stuff.
Yeah,
That's
get on,
easier.
just get in there.
Yeah, that's my pickup one. That's how I had my first son.
Yeah.
Jeff, can you let everybody know where they can find your stuff?
Yes, Jeff_Fieldhouse for all my comedy dates. This is live right now, correct?
It is.
Yeah, I'll be at the Milvalle Music Festival doing stand up at Mr. Small's on the 21st. 5.
My dude.
Yeah, dude.
Be right down the
No,
street.
if I see you in the crowd, I'm just gonna be like, "Do you pay my rent?" No one's gonna get it, but please laugh. Like, I'm gonna do it for you. Yeah, and
Don't park in my space.
no, dude. I mean, fuck, never, dude. I'm Ubering there. I'm gonna be pretty fucked up. Yeah, so check that out. I'm also going to be at Willow Station on the 31st doing a set there. Please check that out at Bayface Assassin Podcast for all that jazz. I love you.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. Thanks for stopping on. I appreciate you coming in and helping me
down
out.
the street, brother.
Absolutely. Stop on anytime. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys coming on. Definitely check all their stuff out. Like I said, it's very entertaining. Even if you're not super into movies, and if you don't even know the movie every time, like I said, it's good entertainment, and then it'll give you something to look forward to. So check them out. I'll put all their information. But, gentlemen, thank you again for the Neon Brainiacs and for Jeff Fieldhouse. I am Chris. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We hope you had a good time. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the show to catch the latest episodes and share with your friends. We can't promise not to embarrass you. And if you just can't get enough, follow us on Instagram at Poor Man's Podcast 412, Twitter at PoorMan'sPod412 and Facebook. This is Pittsburgh's own Poor Man's Podcast signing off. See you next week.
What time is your set on?